As far as the neighbours knew, she could be dead. 10 years she'd been in that room, and no one had ever questioned it. Why had no one ever wondered, was she under the shed, dead? Was she really that unmissed by society that no one cared at all? I know, she thought. I'll creep out at night when everyone's asleep and go wild in the street, rob the bakery, swing my knickers in the air and leave my mark on the landscape. Tonight was the night. It was a school night, so the kids were in bed, and her husband, who now slept downstairs so she wouldn't be disturbed, had nodded off not long after them. Tomorrow was bin day too, so any extra noise wouldn't cause any interest. It was a cool, clear night and not much traffic considering it was a main road. Most of the neighbours were either in bed or huddled up behind their curtains watching the TV. No one would see or hear her, she was sure. So, what to do when she escaped? Something childish and silly that would get people talking. Maybe swapping the neighbours' door numbers and car registration plates. Putting traffic codes. Where do they come from, and why have they all congregated on this street? In their driveways and hiding their wheelie bins. What to wear? It'd been so long since she'd left the house, she was going to make it special. Also, if she got nabbed by the cops, it would help if she didn't look like a mental patient who'd escaped in her week-old pyjamas and holey cardigan. Should she wear makeup? Did they do mugshots still? Yes, makeup must be worn. She was going out after all. She set about laying out her clothes, all black of course. Her black jeggings had been bought for the holiday they were supposed to have for their 25th wedding anniversary until COVID hit. Black t-shirt and a black coatigan. Her black baseball cap did have Squeeze, the band, embroidered on the front, but as it was a darkish blue it didn't stand out. The ensemble was finished off with her black emu boots, warm and comfy. Next, what to do for her makeup? She had so much to choose from, this could take some time. She decided as she was in all black, she'd go with a black smoky eye and nude lip, even though she'd be wearing a black mask and no one, if she happened to bump into anyone, would see. She would usually be full colour, but tonight wasn't the time for that. She would need a kit for her shenanigans, so set about finding her small black crossbody bag and put in a multi-head screwdriver, a black Sharpie marker, a Stanley knife and some glue. Now all she had to do was get dressed and made up. She started to worry would she get halfway ready and be worn out, as that was the case usually with her illness, but it must have been the adrenaline and the thought of being naughty, as she was raring to go. Then she worried, would she be able to keep a straight face if her husband heard the neighbours talking and told her what had happened? She didn't do lying, so that was a worry. But she reasoned that she could tell him and then they'd both have a laugh about it together. It's amazing how now she heard every slight noise in the house and was convinced someone was going to catch her mid-dressing. She popped out of her bedroom every so often to listen and could hear the soft snores coming from all the rooms in the house. Right, I'm ready, she thought. It's now or never. She put a coffee cup out onto the ottoman on the landing, which was her sign for when she was going to sleep, and she knew no one would go into her bedroom when they saw that. She crept down the stairs, her heart jumping out of her chest with a mixture of fear and excitement about what she was about to do. She unlocked the front door and closed it quietly behind her. She stood on the gravel in the front garden and breathed in the fresh night air. Not a living soul was out. She was alone in the night, about to have some fun. First, her next door neighbours. She could quite easily turn their 83 on their wheelie bin to 88 and shove it a bit further up the road. People were so territorial about their bins. It would be fun to light the blue touch paper and stand well back. She started to giggle to herself. This was so childish, but oh so much fun. Then the neighbours opposite. She decided to take the solar-powered lights that were strung over the lean-to at the side of the house and drape them over the car, then turn the A55 HO1F licence plate into asshole with her Sharpie marker. She'd always thought arsehole every time she'd seen him driving in or out. She then decided to pay a visit to the bakery on the corner. They always left the large back doors open to let a breeze blow through the shop while they baked the day's bread downstairs, and she wondered if she'd be able to slip inside unseen. On the way down the road she decided to scrawl "I was here" on a front door with her Sharpie and glue the letterbox shut. Could she get arrested for this? Then she put 2 traffic cones on the pillars either side of the posh neighbour's gate, then unscrewed the gate and hid it up the side of the neighbour's house. That should cause a conversation at the very least. She got to the bakery and wandered down the path along the side of the building. She heard 2 of the bakers chatting as they had a smoke break. Perfect, she thought, and waited till they finished and went back down to the ovens. Now there's no turning back, she thought. She slipped into the bakery shop and found some of the cakes and bread had been placed in the shop to cool before being displayed for sale. There was a plethora of delicious cakes, all laid out along the counter. It'd be rude not to, she thought. So in a final act of rebellion, she moved a few things around and bagged up some jam donuts to eat on the walk back to her house. The following morning, the baker had no idea why the cherry bakewells and cream horns had been moved into provocative designs and by who, while a few doors away someone was sleeping off a huge sugar rush.